Hinei Ma Tov u'manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hinei Ma Tov u'manayim, shevet achim gam yachad.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. It's my great pleasure to be here with you once again to celebrate Shabbat. There was once a man who was coming out of the emergency room, and the nurse came over and said, "Did everything go okay at the surgery? How do you feel?" He said, "Well, it went okay, but I didn't like the use of a 4-letter word by the doctor." She said, "Oh, what word was that?" He said, "Oops." My friends, everyone makes mistakes. And sometimes, for instance, if a doctor makes a mistake, it's quite a doozy. And sometimes we also commit some really major blunders. But Shabbat is the opportunity to assess, to try to figure out where we might have gone wrong. And instead of just saying, oops, try to do something to correct it. And this really is part of the whole process of being Jewish, to improve and to grow and develop, which reaches its culmination, its apex at the high holidays, which we're getting used to now. We're getting used to the concept that we should start to think about, what did we do wrong? How can we do it right? We do it each week, each Shabbat, in order to get practice so we can hit with a running start on the high holidays. So tonight, to celebrate the Shabbat and the joy of being able to do better and to improve ourselves, we have the wonderful sponsors of Carol and Jerry Kahn sponsoring Shabbat for the entire month of August in honor of Carol's parents, especially her mom, who is such a shining light in trying to combat depression and mental illness. We're thrilled to have Stacy Lichtman to lead us in the candle lighting ceremony, and an extremely hard worker for our congregation, Suzanne Burstein. If you've ever received any communications, any emails, if you get onto the web and you click on a link, she's probably the one who posted it there, so we really thank her, and also for being a past president and leader. We thank everybody who's responsible for bringing us this Shabbat service, especially Sharon Leibovitz, who's the architect of this, and Arnie Pickholz, who puts it all together. And now, let the joy and the celebration of Shabbat begin.
Shabbat Shalom, everybody. These lights are only flickering flames, yet flames illumine our uncertain steps. Flames purify and renew, soften and refine. They brighten and make warm. Flames remind us of Sabbaths long past and of their beauty that delighted our hearts. May they inspire us to work for the great Sabbath of peace. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech olam, asher kedeshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat. Shabbat Shalom, everybody. I look forward to when we could all be together. May you have a peaceful Shabbat. Amen.
Shabbat Shalom. The verses and blessings that we recite in the Kiddush, the blessing over the wine, proclaim the holiness of Shabbat and trace it back to the creation of the world. We recite the blessing before drinking the wine, which is usually sweet. Sweet wine adds to the beauty of Shabbat, making it just a little bit of sweeter. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'ratza banu, v'shabbat kadosho v'yahava u'ratzon hinhilanu, zikaron lemateh v'reishi, ki hu yom tehila lemikrai kodesh, zeher l'tziat Mitzrayim. Kivanu v'harta, v'yotanu kidashta, mikol ha'amim, v'shabbat kadshecha, v'yava uvratzon, kinhaltanu, baruch atah Adonai, mekadesh ha'shabbat. Shabbat Shalom. I miss you all and hope to see you soon.
Havenu Shalom, Havenu Shalom, Havenu Shalom Aleichem.
On Shabbat, we have a series of prayers. In cosmic Judaism, we understand these prayers a little differently in a way that's consistent with reason and logic and science and common sense. We understand all the terms of Judaism in ways that everyone can relate to, even if you're not religious. So let's define our terms a little bit here according to cosmic Judaism. And let's talk about, first of all, what it means to be religious, and then what the soul is. Religious comes from a Latin root, L-I-G, which means to tie together. In Spanish, there's the word ligar. There's also in English a league, which is people joined together for a common purpose. So religion means that which joins us together. It's related to the word ligament, which binds parts of the body together. You could say religion binds the human race together and also binds us together with the entire cosmos. It connects us with something greater than ourselves. Because when we're wrapped up in ourselves, we make a small package. Religion allows us to expand our consciousness, as Einstein said, to try to enlarge our circle of affection and of affinity. That's what religion's all about. Religion at its best not only connects us with the cosmos, it connects us with that part of our soul within. It connects us with our inner being, the core of us, that is really who we are, not the personality that we've constructed or that we've arranged so that we can grapple with the world, but who we are, our essence. And religion tries to get us back in touch with that essence, also with the cosmos and also with everyone else. by the definitions of cosmic Judaism, what is the soul? Is it some type of being or inanimate object that invades our body or that leaves our body? A soul, according to cosmic Judaism, is part of us. It's not independent of us. And when the body terminates living, the soul that we have also terminates. It's connected with our consciousness. What is our soul? Our soul, you could say, is our unique self. Our soul is our core. It's the life force that's in all living things. It's unique, wondrous. It's never happened before, will never happen again. In each one of us, we all are uniquely fashioned with creative gifts to make this world better. But at the same time, even while it's 100% unique, it's also exactly the same as the life force and everything else. It all emerged from the same source. And in that sense, we're all interconnected, exactly alike, sharing this life force that spans the species and yet completely independent and unique. It's a wondrous thing, and religion should bring out that which makes us unique and glorious and recognize our connection with everything. When we do that, then we get in touch with our soul and we really live. So bear these things in mind as we now begin the Shabbat celebration with many prayers that are a traditional part of the Shabbat service.
If you're lost, you feel afraid, and you don't know what to say, then listen to our God. Is there a question on your mind? Is the answer hard to find? Then listen to our God. Listen with all your heart and soul, and with all of your might. Write them and learn them and teach them well, every morning and night. Close your eyes and listen.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kevod Malachuto Leolam Vaed. Baruch Shem Kevod Malachuto Leolam Vaed.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לעוד על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם אמת. Adonai, שפתי תפתח, ופי יגיד תהילתך. Adonai, open my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu ve'imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor ve'hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Ve'konei HaKol, Ve'zocher Chastei Avot ve'imahot, U'mevi Geula livnei v'neihem, Lema'an Shemo ve'ahava, Melech Ozer u'Moshia u'Magen. Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham ve'ezrat Sarah.
There are many religions throughout the world. Each one of them seems to have certain areas that are their strengths and others perhaps weaknesses. The Eastern religions are known for their meditation, and certainly it makes a lot of sense to spend moments in contemplation and reflection. In Judaism, we have the same thing, perhaps not to the same extent. However, now with the pandemic, we have many moments of silence, many moments of isolation. However, we must learn to use these times productively. The time that we have alone in our homes could be considered a waste of time and boring, or we could fill these moments with things that can enrich our lives by studying, by learning, by communicating with others, by planning. So let us now borrow from the Eastern tradition, perhaps, and recognize the importance of silence, what therapists call mindfulness. Let us spend a few moments in silent meditation, but let this be a precursor for a life of reflection, especially as we approach the high holy days, where we spend days, an entire 10-day period, in reflection and thinking, how can we improve the caliber of our lives, and how can we improve the world? And so to start getting in shape, to start practicing for the period of reflection known as the days of awe, we now spend a few moments in silent meditation.
Baruchu et Adonai HaMavorach. Baruch Adonai HaMavorach le'olam vo'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah. We're reading tonight from the book of Deuteronomy, a passage called Shoftim, which means judges or judgments. Shoftim v'shotchim titen lecha b'chol she'arecha asher Adonai Elohecha noten lecha l'shivtecha. You shall appoint judges and officers within the gates of all the lands that the Lord your God is giving to you and to the tribes to inherit. V'shaftu et ha'am mishpat tzedek. They shall rule or make judgments in righteousness. Lo tateh mishpat. They shall not pervert justice. Lo takil panim. Literally, they should not recognize a face. Or in common English, don't show favoritism. Don't show partiality. You must be unbiased. V'lo tikach shochad. Do not take a bribe. Ki hashochad ya'aver einei chachamim. For the bribe will twist the words of the wise. V'yisalef divrei tzadikim. And pervert the words of the righteous. Tzedek, tzedek tildof. This is one of the most important phrases in the Torah. It's written on the words of the walls of many lawyers, not often practiced though. Tzedek, tzedek tildof. That means righteousness or justice. Justice shall you pursue. It's read twice. Tzedek, tzedek tildof. indicating the importance of this. למען תחיה וירשת את הארץ אשר אדוני אלוהיך נותן לך, in order that you may live and thrive in the land that God is giving you to inherit. לא תטה לך אשרה כל עץ אצל מזבח אדוני. Don't put up any holy sites of other religions or other gods next to the God of your fathers. אשר תעשה לך ולא תקים לך מצבה אשר שונא Adonai Elohecha. Don't put up any idols of the alien peoples, because God hates those idols. Lo tizbach l'Adonai Elohecha shor oseh asher yihye bo mum. Don't offer as a sacrifice an ox or a goat that has a blemish on it. Kol davar ra ki to'ava Adonai Elohecha hu. God doesn't like those things. He detests these practices, so don't do them. Ki yimsa b'kirbecha be'echad she'arecha asher Adonai Elohecha noten lecha ish o isha asher ya'aseh et hara be'enei Adonai Elohecha la'avor barito. Now here we get into some pretty dark passages. I'm reading this so you can see some of the things that we've outgrown and don't believe anymore. But it says, if you should find within your gates, within one of your towns that the Lord your God is giving to you to inherit, a man or a woman who is doing something that God doesn't like, that appears evil in the eyes of God, la'avod barito, which is violating his covenant with you, vayelech v'yavor Elohim acherim, and if they are going after other gods, v'yishtachu lahem, and bowing down to them, u'lashemesh or la'yareach, worshiping the sun or the moon, or l'chol tzeva hashamayim, or any of the heavenly bodies, asher lo tzaviti, which God did not command, v'hu gad lecha v'shamat v'darashta hetev v'hinei emet nachon hadavar. And if you've heard of these things or come across these things or you've seen something like that, you should go and investigate. And if you find out that this is true, na'asta v'to'ava hazot b'Yisrael v'hotzeta et ha'ish hahu o et ha'isha hahi asher asu et hadavar hara hazeh, and you should go seize that man or that woman who is doing this evil thing and worshiping other gods. El sha'arecha et ha'ish o et ha'isha v'sakalta v'asakaltem v'avanim umetum. You should take these people outside of the gates of your city and stone them to death. The blessing after the Torah. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu tuchat emet v'chai olam nata bitochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah. There was once a judge who made an announcement before ruling on a case. He said, I just want you to know that the plaintiff's attorney gave me $2,000 to rule in his favor, and the defendant's attorney gave me $1,000 to rule in his favor. I decided to give $1,000 back to the plaintiff's attorney, and now I'm going to rule impartially. Now, obviously, if a judge is taking money, that's not a good thing. We call that a bribe. And the passage that we read from tonight, Shoftim, says that a judge should not take a bribe because it perverts the eyes of the just, twists the words of the most perspicacious. We believe today that these eternal truths are still valid. When you have lobbyists who give government officials thousands of dollars in order to get a project approved or to be able to get permission to destroy the environment or to be able to sell guns that are going to mow down people. This is legalized bribery. And if we want to ever have a political system that is just and fair and treats all people equally and does the right thing, we must liberate our democracy from being hijacked
by paid lobbyists who are twisting the eyes and the words of the people who are in government today. We have elections coming up. They should be elections, not auctions. They should not go to the highest bidder. And we should not have the best government that money can buy. Shoftim tells us that everyone must rule impartially, especially our highest officials. But if Shoftim was only about other people, it wouldn't really be telling us that much. Shoftim is really speaking to us as individuals. It's easy to point the finger at others, say, oh, the government officials, they're doing the wrong thing. These other people, they're doing bad things. That's easy. But what's difficult is to judge ourselves. That's what the Torah calls upon us to do, to judge ourselves, and also to form judgments about right and wrong that affect other people, not necessarily ourselves, but to speak out about it. Many people decide they don't want to say anything wrong with anybody's conduct. They think, oh, that's not polite to criticize. I'm not going to say anything wrong with anybody. The lack of judgment is considered perverse in Judaism. We teach, don't just stand idly by the blood of your neighbor, and don't be silent if somebody is saying something or doing something that's wrong. We Jews know that words can kill, and so we're urged to not be silent in the face of injustice or even words, even a coarse remark. We should react. Some people say about a loved one who has passed away, he never had a bad word to say about anyone. In the eyes of some people, that might be a good thing. In the eyes of the Jewish people, that's a terrible indictment upon someone that they never, ever had any cause to object or to complain about the behavior of others. That's not really what we're all about. No, what we're called upon to follow is tzedek, tzedek tirdof. Righteousness, righteousness shall you pursue. It doesn't say silence, silence shall you pursue. It doesn't say look, look the other way. It doesn't say excuse bad behavior. It's difficult to speak up. It's very onerous sometimes to have to challenge things that are going on in society. It's so much easier just to go along. We had a candidate forum at Congregation L'Dor Va-Dor. And I saw candidates there that I've been in public office. I know that they're lying through their teeth. I know that they're saying one thing and doing another. I could have just been silent, but I feel compelled, and we all should, to point out hypocrisy and to challenge people, even if the consequences to us are difficult. But of course, the most difficult judgment of all, the hardest thing to do, is the most important thing to do. It's to judge ourselves. Many people don't like to do that. They don't want to talk to their conscience because they don't like speaking to strangers. But my friends, if we don't have an internal conversation, if we don't judge ourselves, then we're just going through the motions. We're just playing out a script. How rich, how wonderful our lives can be if we can change course, change direction, judge ourselves. It's the greatest thing that we can do, the most exhilarating thing that we can do, to take control of our lives and say, you know what? I've made some mistakes. I'm going to do better. I'm going to change. I'm going to go in another direction. That's what the high holidays are all about. And that's what's so exciting about being Jewish. We don't believe as Jews that our destiny has been preordained. We believe that we can write our own script. And as our country goes through this inflection point, as our country goes through difficulties, as our country has to deal with problems that perhaps we thought would never arise, how wonderful it is that we live in a democracy and that we can choose and we can judge. We also not only judge political leaders, we even judge our own Torah. In the passage it says that if somebody's worshiping another god, a false god, that we should kill them. This is abominable. How horrible it would be if the ancient prejudices of the past guided our future. But there are some people, many Jews, who say, no, the Torah is God's word. We can't judge it. We can't judge whether it's right to kill someone because they're practicing a religion that differs from our own. How disgraceful
to think that we can't even judge morality and that we have to believe that God, whatever our conception of God is so narrow-minded and so intolerant that he harbors the prejudices of ancient people thousands of years ago, and how wonderful it is that most Jewish people ascribe to a brand of Judaism that judges even our own religion, that judges even the Torah, for if not, we've made an idol out of the Torah. So let us be brave and courageous enough to judge the Torah and say, you know the part that says that you should kill people if they don't believe the way we do? We think that that no longer applies. But the part that says in the book of Judges, tzedek tirdof, choose righteousness, an evolving sense of righteousness, yes, that we should follow. And my friends, when we are finally able to judge ourselves and separate right from wrong within ourselves and can choose a different course, which is the goal of the high holidays, on that day, we will experience a joy and a liberation from the past that promises a brighter future. Let us enter this high holiday period with the courage to judge not only others, but to judge ourselves so that we can formulate and act and bring about the greatest version of ourselves and our heritage and our nation that we have ever seen. Shabbat Shalom.
שלא שם חלקנו כהם וגור עלינו
The Jewish people do many things that seem counterintuitive. Our religion teaches us to do things in ways which are not standard in society and which are a little bit different than the norm. That's perhaps why we wear the talit. It's got fringes, indicating that we never hesitate to stand on the fringe of society when necessary to stand up for evil and against injustice. We also do something that some find peculiar. When we lose someone precious and we remember the lives of those who are no longer with us, we give thanks. We say thank you for this incredible, precious, wondrous, this phenomenon called life. We give thanks for their lives, for ours, for the life of everything that has ever lived, as we remember that our loved ones are no longer with us and recall their fine memory. We also give thanks for their life, and hopefully that will offset some of the sadness that we feel from physical separation, realizing that spiritual connection is always available to us. So we recite now the Kaddish. Yiskadav Yiskadash Shemir V'yom Divrach Ruseh V'yom Nichma Chuseh V'chayachon V'yom Echon V'chayedu Chol Beis Yisrael V'agalav Izman Kori V'yom Hu Amen Yehei Shemir Rabba Mivorach L'olam Omei Omaya Yisborach V'yistabach V'yispoah V'yishoma V'yisnaseh V'yisadar V'yisaleh V'yisalal Shemir Kedusha B'richu Le'elam Enkar B'yachasa V'yishirasa Tushbechasa V'nechamasa Da'am Yechon V'yoma V'yimru Amen Yehei Shalom Rabba Min Shmaya V'chayim Aleinu V'yalko Yisrael V'yimru Amen Oseh Shalom B'momav Hu Yaseh Shalom Aleinu V'yalko Yisrael V'yimru Amen. Now that the service has almost reached its conclusion, it's time for the final benediction. This is a time for us to share the hopes that we have for the coming week and to channel the energy from our ancestors who used this final benediction over the course of thousands of years to launch a new enterprise or to just recharge our batteries. May you be blessed and preserved as you go forth this week. May the light of love shine upon you and shine from you always. May you be lifted up by the power of love and the strength of the heritage that we've received, in order that you might be a source of strength to those who are suffering and a source of love to those who are desperately in need of a little hope and encouragement. And may all the Jewish people be a source of hope throughout this pandemic as we try to chart a better course for the future. Amen.
Shoshan
אני הכי אוהב לראות אותך, צוחקת כמו ילדה קטנה, ומעינייך יוצא האור, שמרפא מבפנים כל מכאוב. אני רוצה לתת לך רגעים, למצות איתך את החיים, לא לבזבז עוד רגע עוד שנייה, לא לבד יותר בתוך החשיכה. תני לאור שלך לעטוף את כולי.
Shabbat Shalom. We welcome one and all. We're thrilled that you chose L'Dor Va-Dor for your Shabbat this evening. We thank Rabbi Barry Silver, Rose Lopater, Andy Susman, and Arnie Pickholtz for this wonderful celebration of Shabbat. A very big thank you to Carol and Jerry Kahn for sponsoring our Shabbat services for the month of August in honor of their parents. We're very grateful. We thank all of you who have made generous donations to us these past weeks. We hope that you have enjoyed tonight's service and our new brand of Judaism, which is based on modern understanding, reason, and science. Learn more about our congregation and the Judaism of Tomorrow that we're building through our website, L'dorVa-Dor.org, our Facebook page, our YouTube channel, Congregation L'Dor Va-Dor, and our voice email newsletter. Please join us every Tuesday evening for our chats with Rabbi Barry Silver at 7 p.m. Feel free to ask questions, make comments, or just chat with us. If you need help with Zoom, let us know so that we can assist you. We're excited to offer our High Holy Day services this year, complimentary, online, like these Shabbat services. Share this news with your friends, neighbors, and family, and spread the word about L'Dor Va-Dor. We hope to see you all later at our Oneg Shabbat Zoom and Shmooze online via Zoom tonight at 8:30 and each Friday evening. We can chat then and hear your latest. This is a time that we can share and catch up with our L'Dor Va-Dor mishpacha and friends. You can go to our L'dorVa-Dor.org website and click on the cute little Zoom and Shmooze image near the top and join us at 8:30 p.m. We wish you a beautiful Shabbat and a wonderful and peaceful week. Be well and stay safe. Shabbat Shalom.
Havenu Shalom, Havenu Shalom, Havenu Shalom Aleichem.